Chapter 11. Li Shudong was born for war. His violent, bloodthirsty nature was completely released on the battlefield. He was not as delicate as a prince should be. He could endure starvation and hardship even better than the poorest soldier. From a prisoner guard to a vanguard and then to a commander-in-chief. In only a short period of 2 years, he'd already achieved a high status in the army. And as for Gao Nian, he became a good companion to win over the soldiers. His help was very effective. Gao Nian wasn't made for war, but he loved to boast that he was, and his hobbies were grabbing others' military work. He pushed others to the front line while he hid in the rear, trembling. When someone else got a kill, he'll immediately harvest the head of the dead body to claim the work. But his name was Gao. Who could fight him? Although the soldiers didn't say it, they'd lost a lot of respect and admiration for Gao Min. They didn't respect him as a great war god anymore. While Li Shudong won over the 800,000 troops in the south, Li Jintian disintegrated Gao Min's millions of private troops. He divided them into several shares, then sent them piece by piece to Sixth Prince's side. After 3 years of investigation, there was no doubt in his mind that Sixth Prince was the most suitable for emperor. The other princes he'd sent to Beijing were just a few shields he put up. He placed the 8th and 9th prince into high positions, but they were successfully damaged by the Gao family, and now even 7th prince was accused of misconduct by the courtiers and was facing a ban. Only the 6th prince avoided trouble because he was away in the army. Because he couldn't go abroad to get rid of 6th prince, Gao Min entrusted a confidant to assassinate him. But although they tried frequently, for 3 years they had no success. Li Jintian knew of this matter, but he couldn't directly accuse Gao Min. He thought if the Gao family was destroyed, Gao Min would calm down and obediently stay with him, just like Xi Shuxie. So he didn't stop the attacks, but he sent a lot of manpower to protect 6th prince. Li Shudong was stabbed in battle and was sitting in a tent, waiting for the exceptionally calmly looking military doctor to open his back bandage to observe the wound. Did you just bathe? Li Shudong's nose twitched. The military doctor lowered his head and muffled out an affirmative. You always have a very quiet and elegant fragrance, you know? Li Shudong was now 18. His height was a full 6 feet 3 inches. He had bronze skin and strong muscle peeking out from the semi-open shirt. His extraordinary appearance and cold temperament made him infinitely charming. He leaned slightly closer to sniff the military doctor's exposed white neck. His expression seemed intoxicated. The military doctor was shocked. He quickly covered his neck with his hand. His cheeks flushed, his handsome face filled with color. For these 3 years, because there weren't any beauties, the military doctor was always molested by different soldiers because of his feminine appearance. Li Shudong smiled deeply. He grabbed the doctor's arm and sighed. What use is covering it up now? I saw you when you showed the other day. The military doctor's eyes widened in panic. Li Shudong's voice became hoarse and lower. You deliberately led me to your camp to be medicated. Wasn't that to make me see that Zuxiaxi on your neck? I'm not a narrow-minded person. Gao Min is a gear, yet he can lead the army. Why can't you save lives? The military doctor's eyes instantly lit up. He gave Li Shudong a grateful look. When Li Shudong reached out to touch his Zuxiaxi, he unexpectedly didn't struggle. Li Shudong lifted up the layer of fake skin, slowly stroked the Zuxiaxi inside. How much did Gao Min give you to seduce me? Do you intend to steal military secrets from me, then sell them to our enemy, so I will die by your hands? He'd even disregarded the safety of our country's people to get ahead. Gao Min is really too much. He's the greatest general of Da young country. What a joke. Not affected by the doctor's sudden struggle, his fingers neatly pinched the other's neck and tore out the neck skin containing the Zushasi. Then he threw it into the lit brazier. He glanced at the gaping hole in the neck. His expression gradually changed from ruthless to reminiscent and gentle. Yun father's Zushasi was also on his neck. It was small, red, and very cute. Many times, whenever he hugged him from behind, he wanted to put his mouth on the Ji, licking and biting. These thoughts started when he was 15. One night, he was so excited that he couldn't fall asleep. Those thoughts had kept him hard for several hours. When he finally felt too uncomfortable, he gave up his restraint. Soon, very soon, concubine father will be mine. He gave a determined smile, then tore open his bandage and poured a layer of alcohol on the wound. 2 guards walked in and skillfully dragged the dead body out of the tent. The next day, the war drums beat as usual, and Li Shudong led the South Army and directly took the enemy's commander's head. He heard the sound of an arrow being released, so he waved his sword, splitting it in half. Then he looked back to see Gao Nian in the archery position, his expression stunned. Did the assassin fail too many times, so you decided to do it yourself? This job is beyond your capabilities, coward. Li Shudong gave him a mocking smile while he reached for the bow on his back. Gao Nian tried to escape, but a stream of arrows penetrated the back of his head, finishing him off. In Xishan Palace, Zhurin Sheng was reading the letter sent by the wolf cub. He actually killed Gao Nian in front of all the soldiers. That child is still the same. No tact. So Gao Lang must now be even more tempted to turn me into a bundle of firewood, right? He thought for a moment. Then, after he sent an urgent letter to order the wolf cub to lead the army night and day back to the capital, he personally went to Yangxin Temple. Li Xintian wanted to completely strip away Gao family from Gao Min. As long as Gao Min stayed at his side, he didn't care if Gao family or even a 5th prince died. When he received the impeachment request for 6th prince after he murdered the 2nd son of Gao Lang, he only slightly glanced at it, then ignored it. Gao family and Prince Li's power had been greatly reduced. He didn't need to endure them anymore. When he heard Xi Shujie's request to bury the bones of his family, he immediately agreed to it and even personally picked out a feng shui treasure to bury them with. His every mood made Gao Min angry, puzzled, and even disheartened. He didn't understand why the man's feelings for him had suddenly changed. But Gao Lang saw the warning signs better than his brother and sneaked into the temple for a secret meeting. This intolerance isn't sudden. The emperor has hated our Gao family since 3 years ago. He's planning to take us out. He wants 6th prince to be the heir candidate. Choosing your son was nothing but a pretext. Gao Lang slowly opened. Impossible, Gao Min immediately denied. 6th prince was supposed to be a waste, but when he went to the border, his legs miraculously improved. He also repeatedly built up meritorious service. How do you think he constantly escapes our monitoring and assassination attempts? Without Li Jintian's protection, he wouldn't be alive today. If Li Jintian wasn't helping him, he wouldn't have his status today. Min, stop fooling yourself. Li Jintian has changed. He wants to destroy Gao family, destroy me, and even kill your son. You know it's true. Look at his actions these days. Gao Nian was murdered by 6th prince, but he didn't even rebuke him. He also gave Qi permission to bury his family. His heart is completely biased to that father and son. Gao Min was silent. A chill started in his bones and gradually spread through his body. Brother, what can I and Li Shu Yan do? Do you still have the Hufu? Gao Lang's eyes had killing intent. The Hufu? I've already returned the Hufu to Li Jintian. Gao Min's voice was hoarse. Gao Lang's expression twisted for a moment, but he soon calmed down. Since Li Jintian was prepared for such a long time, he naturally wouldn't let brother keep mastery over the army. It's more like that in these 3 years, brother's military staff have either been conquered or suppressed by him. They've been scattered and they've become scattered sand. Gao family won't be able to use them anymore. He thought for a moment, then he slowly pulled out a porcelain bottle from his pocket and handed it over. This is called Han pills. It's colorless and tasteless in water. After taking this medicine, the body will gradually weaken and die in a month. No cure. Although the frontier are returning to the capital from the victory, Li Shudong's arrival will take at least 2 months. We have time. Give this drug to Li Jintian every 2 days. There are 15 tablets in these 30 days. I'll make the other courtiers push harder for your son to get the throne. Then we can easily strangle 6th prince. If he still stubbornly refuses to give us the throne after he dies, we'll take Shishuji hostage and force 6th prince to commit suicide. Gao Min struggled with this plan. His straightforward nature and military education made him reluctant to use such means. What are you hesitating for? This means our life and death. Don't forget, we also have hundreds of people in our family. 6th Prince values Xi Shuji. He'll definitely behead all of our family, including your son, in vengeance for him. Gao Lang wanted to slap his brother awake. After listening to this, Gao Min clenched his teeth, grabbed the porcelain bottle, and left. The dialogue was soon reported to Zhou Yunsheng's desk. He sneered when he saw their plans. He'd expected this outcome. Xi family, although they had a large presence, they always acted cautiously, low-key, and they would always take time to assess the situation. When they pledged allegiance to Xuan Wang, they only wanted stability. They had no ambitions. Gao Lang was the opposite. He's paranoid, ruthless, and also ambitious. The more adversity he faced from the top, the more his desire to rule increased. 007 didn't send much data about what happened to Li Shuyan after he was enthroned. But if Li Shuyan was really such a wise emperor, he would have ultimately had to fight against his uncle to prevent his relatives from stealing his throne. And Gao Min was the youngest Gao son. Although he had a resolute personality, he couldn't conceal his weakness. At any crucial moment, he always lost his confidence, and he became indecisive and easily confused. His weakness was 5th Prince. For 5th Prince, he could give up on all his principles and become the world's most vicious person. Zhou Sheng mastered the weakness of everyone's character and took advantage of it. The second dream he'd sent the Emperor was not something he'd produced on a whim, but a reflection of reality. After he pushed Li Jintian, everyone else followed him onto the chessboard, forming today's outcome. Life is like chess. It's either a fiasco or a victory. All the ups and downs were in your hands. That's why Zhou Sheng liked fighting people, and fighting with the Lord God. This was the best amusement.